Counselors Craft a Curious Path with Ruby and Olivia.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Ruby Miller, a multidisciplinary artist, singer-songwriter, therapist, and wisdom seeker with a background in opera, ceramics, and photography.
And I'm Olivia Candosia. I'm an actor, theater director, voiceover artist, early childhood educator, and drama therapist. We are both neurodiverse therapists who strive to infuse more wonder, authenticity, and joy into modern life. We're here to share our hearts and stories, and in turn, listen to yours. Here we gather with you to craft the curious path of life, therapy, and art. Welcome and co-create with us. Hello.
Welcome. Hi, Olivia.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hi.
Welcome back to Counselors Craft a Curious Path. We are at episode
Ruby
7.
and Olivia.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, 7 is a dramatic number, a number of change.
Ooh.
Yeah. So today we decided we want to talk about tarot as a form of identity exploration, and then our, experience as therapists in using creative prompts to have tarot be a means of identity exploration. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Well, I'll start with telling you a story. So
Okay.
I was in the car driving from Chicago to Wisconsin, and I was thinking, man, I really want to do more artistic prompts for myself to help me create music. And so I had the prompt of, I made it up on the car ride there, the prompt of sing a song in as the character of each woman, like femme, major arcana card. So the first one I thought of was the High Priestess, who is number 2, and the second I thought of was the Empress, who is number 3. And it was really interesting because I started singing. It kind of reminded me of like the songs you hear in a Shakespeare play, where it's sort of like a little folklory and doesn't have like much of a melody, but like is very storytelling sort of. And so I thought, wow, how cool could it be to do an album where each song and like just like merge all of this stuff, like therapy, music, our tarot group, like all of it, do an album where one song is each not hyperfem, but feminine tarot card. Yes, please respond. I love your facial expression right now.
I love it so much. I love so many things about this. It's making me think this past weekend was the Jimmy Awards, which is the high school theater awards, and it's like a really big deal. It's and what it made me think of is they have all these kids in costumes from like roles that they played throughout the year, and they have like little groups. So there's like, I don't know, 4 or 5 different groups of kids in all their different costumes, and they make a medley of the solos that those characters sing, and then somehow they make it incorporate into like Ursula is now singing with like Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. Like they just somehow weave the stories together to create a new kind of story, and that's kind of what I'm hearing here is like making them all kind of intertwined together.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, and it was interesting to do the prompt because like, for example, the thing that I was just recording as the High Priestess,
Hmm.
it started with like something like, come to me in between the pillars of black and white and hear the secrets of the world. And then it ended up being something into like, and I haven't actually listened back to this yet.
Hmm.
And then it went into something like, and all of you modern human beings don't take the time to put your phones down to then walk to me. If you could only walk to me, if you could only hear my secrets, you might be able to figure out how to treat each other like human beings again. And then there was like another part where the High Priestess, like when I was whatever channeling or whatever we want to call it, she got really angry. And I was like doing these like octave jumps, like, how dare you? Like, how
Hmm.
like dare you? Like, wait, and it was like, so then I was like, okay, so what's an analysis of this? Okay, the divine feminine that is receptive instead of active. The divine feminine that is like, you have to come to me for me to like whisper the secrets of the universe. How much airtime is she getting right
Ooh, and
now?
so it's interesting the choice that you made, and then you wonder, okay, how does that reflect back to my life and my current state of being?
I did not think of that, but that is fascinating.
So I'm
How,
asking you
let me
now.
try to ask it. Yeah, let me try to answer it. I think that since I have moved, ooh, this could also help clients too. I think
Mhm.
since I have moved, I haven't really taken the time to get quiet and to try to like tap into a deeper sense of intuition. I think that part of it is the context of like adjusting to living in a whole different way in so many different ways. Like so many things changed. But I also think the times I've had that I could have used it, I'm more afraid to hear that voice. And I think that like we all have that voice inside of us. So
And
I
what's
guess
that voice? Can you define again what that voice is?
um so if we're using like the tarot as a metaphor, it would be like tapping into our high priestess, and the high priestess is the one where you like journey in quiet solitude to find her. You have reverence for her. You are calm and present when you speak to her, and she only speaks in whispers. So like you listen to her in essentially like the image of like a beautiful church, like just talking to one person. So if it's that aspect of the divine feminine, then it would be like inner wisdom in us that is so powerful that it doesn't need to yell. Like, so what is, if all, like, okay, here, I'm picturing like a town meeting or something. Like, you're at a town meeting and all the people are like talking and talking and talking, and then there's someone who's just like, shut up and let the matriarch speak. Like, just let her speak. And
Mhm.
then she does like a summary of what's happening. So maybe I should try to tap into mine right now and just see what happens. Does that feel like an answer to you?
It does feel like an answer. How would you tap into it right now?
Um, I think similar to what I did with the singing thing, I just see what comes up. Um, so let me slow down. So it's kind of like IFS parts work. Have you done sort of part, is that a thing you do with drama therapy? I know it's not the
Yeah,
same.
I would say they overlap very much.
Okay,
For
cool.
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, because I was actually thinking about doing like a psychodrama meets IFS parts thing with you at some
Because
point.
for just for our listeners, for like drama therapy stuff, there's like a whole like role theory class that you have to take, where you learn about all of the roles. I don't know if I've talked about it here, but there was a guy named Robert Landy who like went through tons of all of these American plays and went through all the types of roles that he noticed in them. And some of them are problematic now when we look at them, but it's what it was at the time. And now I think a lot more drama therapists just work with the client and the roles that they identify rather than like going into the book of like what roles do you identify with in this. They like make it with them of like I'm the husband, I'm the caretaker, I'm the babysitter, like that kind of stuff.
Hmm. Hmm. What if you interviewed the high priestess in me in this book?
Sure,
What if
yeah,
you did drama therapy on
yeah,
me?
sure.
I want you to be my therapist. So nice.
so okay, hi priestess.
Hello.
Hello. um Hi priestess, can you tell me three things about yourself today?
I am very happy I'm present and I'm proud of Caitlin for allowing me to show up. I know she's afraid of me.
Mm.
Um, I am way calmer than so many people in this world right now. I know we're all gonna figure out a way through this and we're all gonna be okay eventually,
Yeah.
but
What would you tell Caitlin about that, about her being afraid of you?
that I understand why she's afraid of me, and her fear is valid. And because she's allowing me to be tapped into right now, I want to show up with as much like love and kindness in my heart as possible because I want her to keep talking to me. So essentially,
Yeah.
like, Caitlin, your fear is valid and feel the warmth in my heart so you can continue to speak with me.
So you're saying that warmth is a value that you bring to Caitlin. What other values do you have?
Slowness,
Hmm.
patience, um, not quite sure what word this would encompass, but the idea of the universe can come to me, the people can come to me, the experiences can come to me. I don't have to make them happen. So sort of
Hmm.
like if you see like a little boy being like, we're gonna play war right now. Like we're just gonna play it right now. And then I'm like the opposite of like, what do you want to play? I'm here. Like, I also think about Caitlin like welcoming in the concept of motherhood in the future and sort of like a steady mother, like I am always
Hmm.
here for you. I'm also
Yeah.
not going to force you to do anything. I'm not going to push you.
Yeah.
Um, Also confidence, confidence that things will be okay.
And so you have this confidence, this stability, this groundedness in you. What messages, when Caitlin's pushing you away, is she saying to you?
Like, is she sending to me the
Yeah,
messages?
yeah. What is she saying to you
Hmm.
that's like, no, go away?
Okay, I'm gonna break the role play for a second and say that I love this so much, and then I'm gonna go back into the role play.
Okay.
This is great. I love this. Um, so she is saying to me, I'm getting like a whiny voice, but not in like a derogatory way, but just like Caitlin is saying to me some version of like, I want to make the world happen the way I want it to happen. And I know that you're probably right, like with like an eye roll, like
Okay.
a 13-year-old
So,
eye roll.
so High Priestess, let me say that to you, and I want you to respond to it. Of like, I want to make the world a better place, and I want to do it my way.
Oh, honey, I see so much hope in your heart, but also you you have to submit to the universe first. You can't
What does
start
that
on
mean? I
step
don't want to do
three.
that. I don't want to do that. What does that mean, even?
I don't know if you'll ever know what it means.
Hmm.
I think you're looking for meaning too much. You're looking for answers too much.
And there's not one?
There are no rules. There are no answers. And when you walk throughout a day and let's say you see a person on the street, you can think of the person you run into as a gift. Like, how do I want to interact with this person? The universe is giving me the gift of bumping into this person. But instead of you approaching life that way, you think, oh, well, I know I need to talk to this other person. Let's say like a friend you have in Illinois. I know I need to talk to this friend in Illinois now. So I'm going to turn away the gift of seeing this person on the street and just say like, hi, nice to see you, going back inside. And I'm going to text my friend or call my friend. So it's almost like these opportunities are being presented to you in your day-to-day life, and because you think you need to be on some other agenda, you lose that opportunity. And then sometimes the agenda you think you're supposed to be on, you don't actually do. So, like, let's say a really close friend you're missing in Illinois, you might not actually text them when you go back inside, or if you do, it might be like, just like, how are you doing? So it's like, sweetie, you're not letting like the gifts of the present, you're not interacting with the gifts of the present moment in ways that are taking full advantage of them.
But now when I hear that, that just makes me feel guilty and shitty. I thought you're
It
supposed to
makes
be.
sense that it. Oh, go ahead.
I I just thought you were supposed to be helpful, but this is making me sad. Is that part of your job too?
I think you're really sad, so I
Yeah.
guess that is part of my job. Maybe it's okay for you to be as sad as you are.
It seems like
Maybe me
because,
making you sad is helpful.
but it also seems like because I'm not doing the things that I think you would do, I feel lesser
I
when,
actually think that the things that I'm encouraging you to do would make you feel more powerful. I don't
yeah,
think you're less of a human being or less worthy or less happy, but I do think it would make you be more powerful and be happier to
okay,
like accept the gifts of the present moment. But I think it's dangerous to interpret what I'm saying as you somehow being like bad or a failure.
good. Reverse roles. You're you, I'm High Priestess. I don't think
Okay.
it's bad that you're not doing this. I do think you'd be more powerful, but what you're doing right now is not bad.
It's interesting when you said that first I felt a lot of like warmth in my diaphragm and then I felt this like contraction. And I think about the diaphragm, like I think it's the third chakra. It's about like boundaries and opening up and stuff. And so like sort of the part of like yeah, I don't know. That was it was an interesting. It felt very emotional.
Hmm. Say more.
Um, I think for quite am I playing myself right now still?
You're
Is
just
that what?
Caitlin,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. That was so much fun. It still is fun. Sorry, it's happening. I okay, I lost the script now.
It's
This
okay.
is interesting that I even
I'm
called it a script.
it's okay. I'm Olivia. You're Caitlin. Let's just talk about what that was like. You said it was fun,
Hmm.
but say more. What do you mean?
It made me really happy and it made me picturing the two of us doing it like on a stage somewhere with like a group of people and I felt like invigorated and I was remembering a session I did earlier this week with a person who identifies as being very out of touch with their emotions.
Hmm.
And I talked to a part of them, and they like broke down in tears and sobbed. And it has been a goal in therapy for them to really like, I just want to feel these things that I keep just like
Hmm.
burying and burying and burying. So I thought of the power of like me talking to this client as the part of them that wanted to come out, that's feeling a lot of things deeply, that doesn't get the mic very often.
Yeah.
I thought of it that what you were doing with me was a similar sense of power in like the high priestess in me wants to like help guide me because like moving as well as like the Trump administration, climate change, like all these changes that are just fast, 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 and like a lot of them are quite upsetting. And some of them are very exciting, that there's just so much movement that I feel like the calm of the high
Hmm.
priestess is a really nice like balance for it.
Yeah.
'Cause like,
And it, go ahead. I was gonna say you were like you were able to access it. Like you did look more grounded and slowed
hmm,
down. Like you were able to tap into that almost immediately. Like it's there, you know?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
What else did you
I'm now
notice?
having the impulse to interview a part of you
Yeah, but why?
because I think it's so much fun. Or to
It
go
is
back
so
to
much fun.
interviewing me, I don't
But
know, but the role play is great.
I also, okay, back to you. That's good because your answer of how that was you and all of your thoughts about like, and it made me think of this and this thing that we did with my client. But I was more curious about like, to you, were there any like discoveries or things that you noticed about yourself or like narratives that you've been saying. Like, I'm curious about that.
Oh, I got I got a little in my head when you started playing me because I was like, "Oh, Olivia sounds really annoying and
Mm,
childish." And then
mm,
Olivia's making it all about herself, and I was like, "Is
mm,
that what Olivia thinks of me?"
mm,
Um, even though I know that I prefaced my voice as an annoying 13-year-old girl, but I think it's dangerous that I said like me. I think that was
mm.
a different part of me. I think that was like the part of me that is a 13-year-old girl and is kind of annoying, but also has like the world at her fingertips and is like, I'm a really good singer. I could do anything with this
Yeah.
voice.
And I
Like,
think I was tapping into this fear that you have and really just leaning into that versus like
hmm
annoying or whatever. But I'm like, no, this is scary because I've noticed that fear, so I was trying to play with that. But that's really
hmm
interesting. Yeah.
Well, and that fear is real, but it's interesting that my response to it, and I don't think this was the high priestess. I
Yeah.
think this was Caitlin, me, like
Observing
conscious
it. Yeah.
Caitlin, yeah, was like, oh my gosh, that person sounds so annoying. But that's part of it is like if you think a part of yourself or like fears you have are annoying, then they're probably going to come back more often because you're like, shoo fly, go away
Yeah.
fly.
And when we use the word annoying, this is an effective artistry thing, but
Yeah,
annoying
yeah,
is
yeah.
it's a thing that it's drawing your attention towards that you don't want your attention to be drawn towards.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and I liked the high priestess. I also liked your facial expressions when I was talking about the album idea, and it made me feel like reconnected to the idea. Um, and one of the things that's happening to me right now is I'm really not sure where to put all my energy. There's so many
Hmm.
like places, so many things to do and so many projects, but I do think it could be so cathartic and a way to kind of combine everything to like how do I explore the divine feminine in pottery, in music? How do I like how are those archetypes? How do those play out with clients? How does that play out in the tarot group that we're doing? How does it play like all the different so like is there a way to make it like a central thesis where it doesn't feel so scattered?
Hmm. Central thesis
And
of
that's what I feel about femchantment, like the word femchantment, like enchanting the feminine, the divine feminine, that like it all just kind of pools into because and I have plenty of clients who can relate to this too, where it's like having so many things you're interested in and then not having like a central, like almost like the sun of the solar system to just
You
come
know what
back
I
to.
think? I think like I have clients who are like artists or creatives or, game designers and whatnot. And like they'll talk about how it's like all that they think about all day, every day. My boyfriend is the same way, like always think everything he's looking at when we're walking down the alleys in Chicago, he's thinking about his game designs and how that could be incorporated. And I think for
hmm
myself, everything I'm doing now, I'm looking through a lens of how I can help people, how I can help my clients, and what I can communicate to them. It's just in me. I cannot get rid of it. And I think, like, for you, that might be what we're talking about right now. That might be something else, but it's already happening. It's just understanding that that's what's happening too that might make a difference.
hmm
I don't know.
hmm Yeah, because I think acknowledging that it's already happening helps me put more language around it and also like be more confident in it. And this reminds me of a client I work with where it's like one way that it could be described is they're on like a soul journey to develop essentially their own spirituality and their own spiritual community that could help really empower and like heal people. And when I use language like that, like, okay, you already know about all these different spiritualities. You already have all of these different takes on things. You've already explored this psychology. You've already written these things. Like, you've already helped people in your life, not in like an official capacity, but using these concepts. You've helped yourself
Mhm.
using these concepts. Then the client's like, oh my gosh, that's true. I literally am
Yeah.
already doing it. And it
Yes.
reminds me of what you just said, like, you
Yes.
are already doing it.
100%. I had to write like a theory for my theories class by like incorporating other theories I've learned, and my last name is Candosia, and so I made it the can do theory, just the first parts of my
Oh,
life,
I
my last
love
name, and it's so
that.
fun. I know they're cute.
Yeah.
But it's like I was already just my theory or whatever it was. It's just how I have already been acting and behaving in the world. Like we don't have to understand it for it to already be happening. Sure,
Mhm.
it's great to be
Mhm.
intentional, but like at some point, it's just gonna become this natural thing, and like I don't know.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I think I'm really focused on like communicating succinctly the ways I think I can help people and people can feel better because I feel so much urgency in this moment in history. And so I think that's part of the draw for me of like, how can this be not only modeled through like behavior and relationships, but also communicated? Um, yeah.
I'm gonna stop you
Challenge
right
me. You
there.
want to
Yeah,
challenge me,
I
right?
want to Well, I don't know if it's a challenge. You can define it however you want. But you were talking to me about this, like making this album with all these archetypes, and I'm like, fucking do it. Give me a video. Go on TikTok. Sing me a little bit of the song. It doesn't have to be the full song, because people
Yeah.
would eat that up. Like you saw just my face hearing about the idea of it. I can only imagine, like, oh, and the things you could inspire from people, the conversations, the creations, like that is so cool and not nothing. Like I cannot tell you how inspiring it is to hear about you even just consider this and sing it in your car.
And I honestly got full body chills when I was singing it in my car. And I was like, this is a feeling I want to have like every day. I think it could honestly like
Yes.
reduce the amount of migraines I have. I think it could like make me happier and more of like a
Yes.
joyful presence for, yeah, yeah.
I love that. Like listen to that. That's so beautiful. I've been thinking about like musical theater
It
and theater
reminds me
songs.
of your Dress to Express stuff right now is like, and I think you can do it in more ways or like a
Yeah.
or but anyway, but like the Dress to Express videos you've been making feel so Olivia that they're just so compelling and like light giving. And
Mhm.
I feel like my tarot singing idea thing is similar to you with the, but
Yes.
what are you thinking about for
I was
yourself?
thinking about maybe like theater songs or songs that either I could sing that are like musical theater related and how they relate to
Yeah.
maybe a circumstance a client is going through, or like this is a song that could be good to help when you're going through this kind of thing. I think
Yep.
there's something there too of embodying a character and exploring that character. Like, yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
it's what you're doing too, just
Mhm.
in a different way. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love the idea of like taking pre-existing music, but then sharing how it has either helped you in your own journey to like finding yourself and being happier and or how it could help clients.
Yeah. I mean, I'm even noticing like the musical theater songs I'm gravitating towards are a lot about motherhood and taking care of people.
I'm so I'm getting so attracted to like all things motherhood. Just like
I, yeah.
even like mothering the world, like
Hmm.
what would a mom say to like the Middle East versus like
Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
And
and that just reminded me of oh, go ahead.
no, and there's something there is all I was gonna say. There's
Yeah, yeah, and it reminded me of Eric Godsey, who's I would call him like a philosopher, and he did this podcast episode where he wrote a story about the death of the god of modernity. And I think it was something about how he was like an old kind of patriarchal philosopher, and he was like please just kill me and take the parts of me and eat me and then like create the mother again, like birth like a new mother. And it was just, yeah, so I was picturing that when you were talking, like the idea of like what would a mother say to the Middle East versus what would like an angry father. And I'm saying angry on purpose because I don't think inherently fathers are bad. But yeah.
Yeah.
Um
So much drama therapy here, baby. So much. Like
yeah. Yeah.
it's I mean that could be a whole session of just like setting the stage of like the therapy room is the world. And like okay, over here is this country, over here is this country. Where do you feel like you are right now, client? Stand over there. Okay, what do you want to say to this and doing that.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, I was also, this is kind of similar to what you just said, is like
Mhm.
mapping out your parts and then having your parts be like in a fantasy novel with each other. Like if your parts were like full-blown characters and they were in a world with one another, what would
Mhm.
they say? But I've really liked Esther Perel is like a famous couples therapist, and she has some episodes of her podcast. I think she has multiple podcasts now that she puts out where it's interviews with clients.
Mhm.
Um, so like she does a couples therapy session and she records it. And I remember hearing those and being like, wow, there's something about hearing the raw vulnerability of the person that actually feels more healing to me as a listener
Mhm.
than if she were to be like, this is a common theme in couples who experience infidelity.
A thousand
Um,
percent.
and so, like, an interesting thing I was thinking about with this session is like, what if you and I traded off like facilitating interviewing parts or like
Yeah.
drama therapy with each other, and then listeners could follow along and be like, oh, I think I could do that for myself. Because like interviewing a part is a thing you like a pen and paper or an audio message. You don't need to pay for therapy. You don't need to get extensive training. Like we
You
could
know what
do
it makes
this.
me think of, Caitlin? Oh my
Yeah.
God. Okay, so I was a part of like a touring company for Shakespeare for Romeo and Juliet, and that
Mhm.
meant there were 6 to 8 of us playing all of the characters, and in the "Do you bite my thumb?" Like yes, sir, I bite my thumb. It was my friend Josh who all he did was wear a baseball cap and then take the baseball cap off when he was the other character. And so he would be like, "Do you bite your thumb at me, sir?" And then he'd take it off. "I do bite my thumb at you." And just back and forth, back and forth. And it was so compelling. All he needed was a fucking hat.
Wow.
Sometimes people do just a scarf or like a jacket, but like
Yeah.
that's what you can do too. You can just go back and forth and no, I'm mad at
Mhm.
you. No, like it can do that
And
too.
there's a magic to having like a physical object that
Yeah.
depicts it too. Like
Hmm.
just for the person, like I'm thinking about magic concepts of like have like a physical object that is a metaphor for like whatever it is, have
Hmm.
it somewhere, and then you're putting all of those thoughts and that energy onto it. So yeah, even just
Yes.
like a hat, like this can be
Hmm.
a full costume.
Yeah.
Like a hat is a full costume.
I mean, even when
Um,
I put on sunglasses, I'm a new woman, you know? Like
mhm.
every
Yeah,
little
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Wow.
So much stuff here.
Hmm. Hmm.
How you feeling?
Um, I'm feeling happy and a lot better than before we started
Hmm.
recording, and I also feel like there's something about showing up to the world as like if we're going to be therapists, we have to do the work ourselves or like
Yeah.
allow ourselves to receive the work that we want to give to others and to like feel what it feels like. So I thought there was something really beautiful about that. And I've been wanting to like sit down and talk to parts of myself recently, and I
Mm.
just have not gotten the chance to do it. And that was part of like, I was like, oh, what would happen if I channeled the High Priestess? Like, what would she say?
Yeah.
And doing it with you is so nice because I've been like really wanting to do it.
Hmm.
Um,
And we can keep doing it, and you can do it on your own too. I'm glad you've like
yeah,
gotten a spark now.
yeah, and I'm excited about the idea of doing things like that in a group setting with you too,
Mhm.
like taking like this is the strength card that I pulled from the deck and like what would it be like to talk to a woman who just like casually is acquainted with a lion? Like
Hmm.
what would the power of that like what would she say and what message would she like deliver to you?
I love that. I love this stuff so much because it's going to be unique for everybody. You know,
Yes. Yeah.
it's
Yeah, it's
so
not about one answer. It's about people
yeah.
finding their own like not even answers, but like their own path.
Right. And me talking to the lion 10 years ago, very different than me with the lion now. Like,
Mhm. Mhm.
incredibly. Um,
Mhm. I almost feel like drama therapy prompts are a way to like help people unmask, like practice unmasking by like masking, like almost like if you would have asked me the questions you asked me as myself, I think I would have filtered it through a
yeah.
lot of like logic,
Yes.
and then I wouldn't have said most of it, which I think is what my client experienced the other day, where they were just like very emotional because there was no pressure to be like, and adult human being is
Right.
gonna say this. It's like, no, the adult doesn't have to be here right now. The adult is there so much of your
Right.
life
Give her a
all the
rest,
time.
please. Yeah. Ah, no, it makes
So
me excited because I don't get to practice it with an individual that much either. And it doing
I
this
would love
helps.
to be your guinea pig. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
doing this helped remind me like, oh no, I can bring this into the therapy room. It's just been so long. Like that interview kind of thing is like homework assignments we had to do in my drama therapy classes. Like, so
Mhm.
it's nothing new. It's just been a minute. And so thanks
Mhm.
for showing me
Mhm.
and
You're
reminding me what that
welcome.
power is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really, really fun. And I feel like for people who identify with like having ADHD or being autistic or neurodivergent, that there's something to like, we are creating a container of play. Magic will happen here. You don't have to be or not have to be anything in particular. This is literally play. And then once we're done, the container will close and we can like enter it at a different time, but like that's just where we're at right now.
Yes, I want to use that for a snippet to advertise this episode because that's literally what this is.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I love containers. I love play. I love how the words can interact with each other and yeah. Um,
Hmm.
it makes me think of the my hometown theater company, American Players Theater, and how excited I am to see. I'm gonna see my first show there on July 6th in like
Yay.
of
What
this
what
season.
production are they putting up?
Um, I don't know the one I'm seeing on the 6th. I forgot the name, but right now they just launched Midsummer Night's Dream and it's
Hmm.
apparently amazing and I'm hoping to see it soon. I'll figure out the name of the show. Oh, can I find it? I'm gonna figure it out so it's on this episode. One second.
Oh no, I just bumped my knee. Um,
Oh no.
that's
Also,
okay.
your dress is fantastic.
I know. I'm gonna make a dress
Um,
to express video in it, but I got. You know what? Actually, I'll talk to you about
I'm
this off
so
camera. But I have a
excited.
lot of thoughts about dress to express. But
Yeah,
we can wrap up
I
this episode.
I think it's picnic is what I'm seeing.
Oh, love picnic.
Yep,
Great.
I'm seeing picnic. Yeah, yeah,
Amazing.
yeah. All right. Well, I am so happy to be here with you. And for the audience listening, we would love to hear topics or questions you have, any burning questions or ideas or
Hmm.
things you want to learn about to
Experiences you've
guide our
had.
conversations.
Hmm. Yeah, thank you. We're excited to hear from you, and we'll be back next week.
Yeah,
Bye.
goodbye. Bye, Olivia.
Bye, Caitlin.